add myself to the stream since I'm doing this so poorly today. It's like I'm the rookie. I am the absolute rookie today. So, first thing, I see a score popping up here. Let's get to that because it'll be something a little different to talk about before I get back into my main part of Brock Purdy. But if you're going to bet on the game this week, guys, this is the game to take the Steelers and the 2.5 points they're giving us all the way to the freaking bank. 3 big reasons why, and they're all 49er related. On the 49er side, there are Brock Purdy coming back in his first game since surgery. He's barely even played in preseason, and they're making him rest most of training camp. This is his first real action and first time where he's really going to get hit and going to get hit hard. That's number one. Number two, Kittle might not be playing. That's a big part of their offense. In my opinion, I think he's the glue that makes that offense run. Number 3 is Bosa playing. Defensive Player of the Year. We knew last year we got Watt back right before, or 2 years ago. Or was it last year? Yeah. We got Watt back right before the start of that first game, and he's the reason why we won it against Cincy before he hurt himself at the end of that game. But he played like a monster. Big reason why we won that game. But will Bosa play? Those are 3 bigs on that end. On the Steelers end, you want to know the 3 positives on the Steelers end? Offense, defense, special teams. From what I saw for them in the preseason, they are a 3-phase team. All of them playing at an elite freaking level. All of them. All 3. Offense, first team offense, perfect. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett, perfect quarterback rating. 2 incompletions. No interceptions. He killed it in the preseason. If he's anywhere close to that in the regular season, I'm not expecting him to go down and score every drive. Don't get me wrong. I'd love him to do it. This ain't Madden. This is real football against real football teams. But for what I've seen from the offense in the preseason, I'm excited. I like the way they're blocking. I think they're blocking way better than they have. But now, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I still think they're going to be a hell of a lot better than they were last year. That is unmistakable. Defense, I am excited just on the talent. I can't believe we changed so many people at inside linebacker and we got better. Absolutely got better. Secondary might be a little bit of an issue with the corners until they adjust. Peterson, Wallace, and Joey Porter Jr. I'm excited to see how they're going to use JP Jr. Obviously, they're going to be starting Patrick Peterson and Levi Wallace. We're going to have to see how Desmond King rotates in, how Pierre rotates in. Joey Porter's going to rotate in sooner than later. Interested to see how they use Sullivan and Riley in that nickel spot. Maybe even jumping King down there a bit. He can do it as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how this shakes up. But I think we have one of the best front sevens in the league. And then special teams. Did you see Presley Harvin III coffin kicking? Not only that, but our new gunners going down the field, catching these balls inside the 5, not even going for those fake fair catches, going for the ball, knocking them down inside the 5, putting the other team's offense backs up against the end zone, giving our defense something to tee off on. That I'm excited to see. Field flipping. Plus, our returners are way better than they were last year. Austin's killing it in the return game. I don't think kick returns are going to be much of a thing this year. I think we're honestly just going to be starting on the 25 all year, being able to fair catch inside the 20. Unless we're fielding the ball at the 10, I don't expect to see a kick return at all this season. At all. Terrible rule. Slows down the game. It's like, why even kick off? Dumb. But part of the game. I'm happy having Boswell back. He always has a bounce back year after a tough year. We'll see how he goes. Gonna place 1,000 on our boys. Yeah, Miles, I see how you're doing there. Offense is unstoppable. That's it. Inside linebacker room is awesome there, Robert. I agree with that completely. Hopefully Harvin doesn't choke when we need that big, long punt. That is true as well. It's all about field positioning, punting, how we're going, how we're doing. And now I'm going to my questions over here on Instagram. Steelers were winning overtime. How are you doing? I'm doing good, B. Mooney. Thanks for asking. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Go Steelers. Awesome, guys. Love having you guys back. Brock Purdy. Oh, man, I can hear them coming. Yep, I hear that too. What will be all over his butt on Sunday? Definitely will. Purdy will not be sleeping well. Well, tell you one thing, he's a confident kid, but moving forward into that game, I don't know how confident he can stay. Lucas, you're thinking that Brock's going to have an awful season. Team around him is stacked, though he will just need to game manage. That's really all he needs to do, and I think that's a reason why he was so good last year. I mean, that team was absolutely stacked in all three phases. All he had to do was maintain. Everybody that went in there did well. So, whoever the quarterback was put up numbers. This year, it's going to be a little tougher for him, though, personally. I think he's going to have a little bit more tougher time trying to make sure he's done. Jeremiah Yoder, Sunday will be a return to hard-nosed, smash-mouth Pittsburgh Steeler football. That's what I like seeing, Yoder. Absolutely love seeing that. And good to see you again after seeing you last week, Yoder. I always remember those names. Kittle might be out of the game as well. Definitely the point. So, guys, unfortunately, I hit the wrong button. I was not streaming when I started my show. The biggest part for Steeler Nation, for the Strikers Inside Slants, my slant tonight, is it too early to start Brock Purdy? He had UCL surgery, ulnar collateral ligament surgery. Reconstructive surgery is a 9-month rehab. He had surgery March 10th, though it was not a full reconstruction. It's called a repair as opposed to a reconstruction. They state the repair is a 3 to 6 month rehab. Guy's a professional athlete. Maybe he rehabs a little quicker. But if you're looking at March 10th is the date doing it, April, May, June, July, August, September puts him right on September 10th. Being 6 months to the day he steps on the field against the Pittsburgh Steelers to play professional football against a real team with real stakes where he did not take a whole lot of snaps in this preseason. So what is my issue with that? I know they started having him practice at the end of July. So that was March, April, May, June, July, 4-month range. He was only practicing, I think, 2 days a week, getting a day off. I think a couple weeks later, they were doing 3 days a week. Then he gets a day off. But now they say he can practice normally. They say he can go out. My only issue is Kyle Shanahan chose the wrong way when another promising quarterback was injured, played them injured, lost them, and lost their career pretty much. And I'm talking about Robert Griffin III. He was the offensive coordinator. Daddy Shanahan was the coach in Washington. You know which team name they have now. Now, whatever the hell name they are now, who knows? Dumpster fires. That was when they're really burning brightly, the dumpster fires. They made the playoffs in a playoff game, put a guy out, put Robert Griffin III back on the field with a hurt knee, blew it out the next play. Same thing going to happen to Purdy? Could it? I don't know. Do they care about injuries as much as I do? Because I wouldn't have started Brock Purdy for the first month of the season. Honestly, I wouldn't. But that's me understanding metrics, understanding healing, and the mental headspace. Why would you put Brock Purdy out on a field against a team that is statistically known to be the best pass rushing team over the past 6 years? 5 years leading the league in sacks until last year when TJ Watt gets hurt. I fully believe that they're healthy again this year. Even if TJ goes down this year, you bringing in Nick, you bringing in Golden, we're still going to be up there for leading the league in sacks this year. It's a tough front seven to put that guy out there for. If he gets an arm hit, you saw Highsmith cutting down on the backside of the arm. You know Watt always is attacking the ball. You know Nick Herbig can attack the damn ball, and I've seen Robinson do it as well. So, or Golden, sorry, do it as well. So we've got to see what they're going to do on defense against this team when everybody's running downhill going for that arm. And how's he going to react? Is he going to wilt? Is he going to get happy feet? Is he going to get a tight hand and throw the ball too quick? Is he eyes going to dart everywhere and he's not going to know who's open downfield? That's what I want to see on Sunday. I don't want him to get hurt for his career, but if he does get hurt in this game, there's only one person to blame. Kyle frickin' Shanahan. You learned it once with RG3. You do it again, and you turn a promising young quarterback into his namesake and actually make him Mr. Irrelevant for the rest of his career. That is on you, Shanahan. That is on you. And that is a dumb move, in my humble opinion. So, guys, this is your show. We're taking your questions. We're taking your comments. Time to go back and see what you guys have to say. Robert! Real tough game to be our first game back from injury. Definitely is. Miles, what's your thoughts on Kittle saying he should shut out TJ? No chance. You want to know why? Kittle ain't staying in to block every play. And I would love to see Kittle try to block TJ one-on-one because Kittle's going to need help. If Kittle's going out for a pass and TJ's going in, Purdy's getting hurty. Do you think King signing was a good move by the con man? I love King. I wanted King 2 years ago as a slot corner. When he was available. I think it was 2 years ago. Because I've always been looking to replace Mike Hilton. And that's a guy that can replace Mike Hilton. I also love Sullivan. So I'm not in a bad spot here. This the front office is making sure that the Steelers have the best people available, not only on the roster, but on the practice squad. They've been making so many moves. This is the deepest team I've seen. Absolutely the deepest team I've seen. Everybody on this team can contribute, maybe except for Gunner. That's the only guy I think that's definitely going to be inactive. Definitely inactive on game day. Outside of that, this whole team has contributors. Absolutely has contributors. But he's a guy that can come in and be that guy that can help out down the stretch. Could pop over here too to Instagram, grab some. Herbig being future Kevin Green. I would love to see that, Bob Ram. Love to see that. I know I missed some of your questions from earlier, guys. It's scrolled down, so I can't get back up to it. But please, continue to ask questions. Zero tight ends can block TJ even while holding. Manuti back in the house. Love you, Manuti. How's Brazil doing, my friend? Always good to hear from you. Steelers going to playoffs this year. Dylan, I honestly think they are. If their offense is half as good as they showed in the preseason, this team's going to go real far because we already know their defense is going to be top 3. And I was surprised how good their special teams looked. So if we are a 3-phase team, we're going to beat any 2-phase team we play. Sunday, 49ers 6, Steelers 35. That's a good one, Amelia. I would definitely take that. Kyle Shanahan is not a quarterback coach only, offensive mind coach, right? Well, he was the offensive coordinator when RG3 got hurt. Now he's the head coach, but he is a great offensive mind. He should learn from his mistakes, though, to protect his guys. Do you think Nick Herbig will be with the first team? No, I don't, unfortunately, but it's a good problem to have here, Marius, because we now have a legit third rotational guy that we haven't had since we had Highsmith behind Dupree and Watt. And Nick Herbig is better right now going into his first game than Highsmith was going into his first game. So we've got an upgrade at our third rotational outside linebacker, and Golden is a legit rotational outside linebacker. We are legit 4 deep at outside linebacker that I'm not afraid of injuries, but with the contract they gave Highsmith, with Highsmith should have been in the Pro Bowl last year with the numbers he put up. He got snubbed, hardcore snubbed. But nobody's going to be out performing Watt. Highsmith performed at a high Pro Bowl level last year. Herbig, you got to learn behind these guys. If there's an injury, you're coming on. I'm not rooting for the 49ers, but they have plenty good D-line and linebacker core. San Fran also got Hargrave. Yep, in free agency. Hargrave's a great player. He had 10-plus sacks last year. He's going to be 3-point game. Yeah, Hargrave's awesome. And I do like that take too, Dylan. We don't know who's going to be right, but I feel really good about our team this week. They are still a good team. Hell, they should have been in the Super Bowl last year. They had a good shot of being there, and they got a chance again. Here we go, Steelers. Cam, Larry, and who will be the third lineman? Benton, Adams, Leal. Well, it's going to be right now, according to the depth chart, Adams is the starter. Of all of the rookies, I think Benton, Keanu Benton will be the next starting nose tackle here within the next couple weeks. He's just too talented and too athletic not to be on this field. Yoder, 2023 season debut of the reimagined Steel Curtain defense. I was privileged to witness the original Steeler Curtain defense, and now seeing the reimagined Steeler Curtain defense, hell yeah. Guys, we've been yelling about this the entire time. Oh, Tomlin can't build a team. Oh, Tomlin can't build a team. They're cowards players. That's Ben's offense. They're winning despite him. Guys, this is Tomlin's team. And you guys can all you old heads can scream all you want. It's been Tomlin's team for a decade. This team's going to be making some waves, especially if we start pushing for a Super Bowl. Minuti, I saw you pop up there. What you got? With Purdy injured, their offensive line finished the season playing bad. How they are? Yeah, I don't know how they're going to be. But honestly, there's another point that I always make in playing people during the season. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. This is the perfect time to see a Super Bowl caliber team from the NFC week 1 with their starting quarterback starting his first game off a major surgery. Their defensive player of the year, not even under contract. He may be under by the game, but right now he's not. Best player on their defense, might not even be playing. One of their best players, who I think is their best support player on offense. Kittle. McCaffrey's awesome too, don't get me wrong. And so is their freaking receiver. So, geez, he's amazing as well. But Kittle is the glue. He's the third down. He's the chain mover. Kittle's not on that field. This is a different team. Not who you play. It's when you play them. And Steelers are facing the 49ers in a situation where I think it is an advantage to be playing them first game of the season as opposed to playing them in December when they're already under themselves. Plus, usually the Steelers start slow as hell. We've seen all the preseason. We've seen Ben come out sleeping through September before he starts winning games. Ben is always rusty as hell in preseason anyway because Ben's not a practice guy. Ben's not a film guy. Ben's a gamer. He's an athletic guy. He gets on the field. He exerts his will on the game. That was Ben Roethlisberger. That's why we started slow, guys. Now we have a tactician who's a film geek who the week after we got knocked out for the season, he was back in the training room, ready to work, ready to watch film, ready to train, ready to make this guy himself better because he wants to be the best. This is a new way to watch a quarterback, guys. We had both of our biggest quarterbacks ever, Bradshaw, Roethlisberger, both of them were athletic freaks. Athletic freaks. Now we have a mental tactician with a high football IQ that wants to be the best. It's like having a Manning on your team. I'm really interested to see how he plays and how he progresses. This is a guy that studies Brady because he knows Brady's the GOAT. How can I be like him? If he starts making Brady decisions like I saw the way he led Freiermuth in that preseason game straight over the center, dropping it right over the linebacker with a back turn as a pitch and catch move like Brady to Gronk. We saw that play against us so many times against the New England Patriots. It's fun to see us do it to another team. And I got to see them do it in the preseason, which leads me to think they're going to be doing that in the regular season. Squeezing it between the safety and over top of the linebacker. Boom, boom, touchdown, money ball. Next play, kick the extra point. Burrow, yo, Striker strikes. Well, we got it rid of a punter, as I said we would. We added a couple new names, as I said we would, because our fastest cornerback is the Cowboys cornerback on practice squad, who hopefully will be in the base 33. And that was a good point, too. I like how we're utilizing the practice squad to get the best players we can that can help us out on game day if we need to bring people up, bring people down. Though I will note, Robert, you thought the other punter was going to be leaving. You've always been asking for Presley Harvin III to be leaving this team. Not man, but of course we're not keeping two punters on a roster. That was strictly a move that the Steelers were trying to move man to the Eagles for a draft pick, which was a smart move. Did not pan out. We got some draft capital for Green, got some draft capital for Dotson for keeping both those guys a little bit longer on the roster. And I'm happy as hell for that. They tried to do it again with the punter, did not get an extra pick. Not a big deal. I'm happy with the draft capital that we got. But of course, we're not keeping two punters. It's a shame that Trey Lance will be known as the biggest bust in modern age of football. 49ers did him dirty. I don't know. A lot of people in Dallas don't like Dak. Dak might be the next one out, and he may be able to come in on a game where Dax is hurt or injured or not playing well and become the savior in Dallas like an undrafted Romo. We'll have to see. His story is not over yet, Miles, but right now it definitely would have been a bad story had he still stayed in San Francisco with really no chance to unseat Brock Purdy. And let me get with you guys. On Warren King run, we saw our GS blocking 10 yards ahead down to, are we on 2017, right? Yeah, it was nice to see George go down the field. On any long run in football, that means your receivers are blocking downfield. We had a lot of long runs when Hines Ward was on this team. But George Pickens and Deontay Johnson like to block. So we're going to see some long runs again this year. And I've seen Robinson block too. That's a guy that's done the dirty work in Chicago as well. David, so if Purdy injures and Chris comes in and throws some interceptions, hopefully 2 for a touchdown. That's what I want. Any backup coming in is not going to be as ready. We're going to put on the pressure, hopefully force them into mistakes. MDC, the media says the Steelers showed too much to other teams in the preseason. What do you think? Not at all. What are we showing? We showed 5 drives. 5 freaking drives out of our offense. One of the games, too, it was was it the second? I think it was the second preseason game against Buffalo, or is it the one against Atlanta? I think it was the one against Atlanta where we're just going to run it. We're going to run it as much as we can and just push it. I think it was the Atlanta game. What do we get? We got 3 touchdowns on our first 3 drives. Najee, Warren, McFarland all got touchdowns on the first 3 drives. Game was over. Or at least the first 3 touchdowns. I think there might have been another drive when Trubisky was in that ended in a field goal, and then they got a touchdown drive after that. But what are they showing? We're showing that we can throw down the middle now. Every other team can throw down the middle of the field in the NFL. We just didn't do it last year. Oh, no. The Steelers now. You got to protect the middle of the field against the Steelers. You got to protect more than 5 yards downfield in the sidelines against the Steelers. The horseshoe defense ain't going to stop the Steelers this year. Because we don't have an aged quarterback with a bum arm that couldn't throw farther than 18 yards anymore and wouldn't test the center of the field because he's trying to get the ball out in under 2 seconds because we couldn't block. Now we can block. I think you're going to see a different quarterback and a different offense when you have a team that's going to be blocking for 3.5 to 4 seconds, because it'll allow Kenny to go through his progressions. Really, nobody can prepare for that. And Minuti, Shanahan is rushing Purdy like RG3. I don't like that. The same as the Bengals with Burrow and his injuries could be very worse than some muscular injuries. And they have been really bringing him along slowly too. I think that injury, you don't go down untouched like that without a significant thing happening. And I saw that injury happen. I thought he ruptured his Achilles the way he dropped. They're saying it's a calf injury. I know the Achilles is attached to the calf. It might not have been a full rupture. It might have been a partial. But if they're trying to rush him back early, that could be a tough thing for the Bengals and a reason for the Steelers to get back up to the top of the division. Ben made surgeries and played on the next week. Ben on playing hurt to have his own tie. And that is something. Ben is one of the toughest son of a bitches I've ever seen put on a suit. And he'll complain about it the whole time and state on how tough he was. But no other quarterback, what I know, could break his nose, go back out and finish a game against a hated rival and win it on the road the way he did it after it was in the Ravens. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on that guy's name? But I hated that. Haloti Ngata. Yeah, that was the guy. Steelers defense Achilles heel can be beaten deep. We don't have any quarterback with a 40-yard dash time. The 5-3 right now. Let Peterson consistent do it. Now, Peterson is more like a Joe Hayden. You don't have to run a sub 4.4 to be a cornerback in this league. Joe Hayden and Peterson showed you. Peterson's second best year of his career, Robert, was last year, playing at the end of his career. If he's anywhere close to the way he played last year for us on a team that led the league in interceptions, he's going to have a sick season because he's a smart player. Joey Porter also doesn't have to be as fast because he has length. His length can cover another additional 0.3 seconds because he can reach and knock balls down that other corners cannot get to. And that's why he was so good at Penn State. So speed is not the only factor. I do like speed in defense, and I do agree with you that speed is a factor. But with veteran intelligence and with length, you can counteract some speed. Joey Porter Jr. is the exact 40-yard dash time as Terrell Edmonds. Terrell Edmonds is terrible, but I will say that Joey Porter will definitely make more plays on football, and they play two different positions. Will we see our rookies get good playing time week one? If so, what do you think we will see from them? I'm not sure if Spencer Anderson will even be active on day one. Porter will be rotational. Keanu will be rotational. Nick Herbig will be rotational. One guy that might have the biggest game, Mount Washington. Guy we haven't talked about yet. That guy could be big in the red zone. He is now our second string tight end. He beat Gentry off the roster. So he's going to get a lot of chances as the second tight end in two tight end sets where he might be able to make the most waves there, Miles, in the game on Sunday. And I think that's pretty much all of our guys that we got. And the other, my bet for this week, look out for Washington to make the biggest splash in the cornerback room or in the rookie room, aside from maybe Nick coming in rotationally, getting a sack, maybe Porter coming on the field, making a play, getting an interception. Might be really interesting to watch, but my money's on Mount Washington. Robert, you didn't mean to keep two punters. Wow, what a prediction. Slash! Welcome, baby. Kittle wasn't claiming he could shut down TJ. He was saying he would do his best if he had to temporary block him. Well, if he's in the game, I don't think that Kittle banged up could do anything against TJ Watt. Really, I don't. We'll have to see how that goes coming up. Minuti, I keep Gentry, but not if he's a funny guy. But if we have one smoother big blocker, yeah. But the problem was he was just replaced by the guy that was a way bigger blocker. People are mad with Moore. I'm not a fan, but against Bosa should be better than a rookie. People are mad with that. Yeah, I hear you there. I definitely hear you there, Minuti. Nada. Yep, you guys got it too. I have a theory about Gunner. He stayed for the The 2 Jets sweep per game. Jets for Canada stays happy. I like that, Manuti. Remember, Jalen Warren will take Najee's spot. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying that. But guys, we rested. We rested the crap out of Najee. And I love it. I love it. The guy that's a Pro Bowler his rookie season. A guy that played hurt half the year and still got 1,000 yards. Played half a season with a plate in his shoe. That's tough to play on a plantar fascia. Most people are out on plantar fascias, let alone being a freaking running back on a plantar fascia injury. Receivers don't play if they have a plantar fascia injury. We had a running back that was playing with a plantar fascia injury. Half a year. He came back after that break. Striker! Oh! Najee can't play! He's terrible. What happened after? What I say, guys? Wait till after the break. He's finally starting to get a little bit more repair. He's starting to feel a little better. After that, he will be Najee Harris, and he was. Stiff-arming people, hurdling people, plowing through people. That is Najee Harris. That is our starting running back. Will Warren ever replace him? He may in time, but to me, if he's ever really going to replace Najee, I think it's going to be because Najee is injured, not because he's better than Najee, because he doesn't have the talent that Najee has. Might have more speed. Both McFarland and Warren are faster than Najee, but none of them have his power. None of them. He is a monster up the middle. But I do like that take. Trubisky was terrible even in the preseason. Yeah, well, he's a former first rounder. He knows what to do. He knows what to do. People said Najee's vision. He is a top 5. Our improvement last year was a big part of Najee when he stayed healthy. Exactly. That's exactly it. Robert, new slot cornerback we picked up only has like a 4.6 yard dash time. So we hope the Cowboys cornerback can be brought up at speed quicker because we're on 4.3. Like I said, speed isn't the most important thing for me, especially for nickel corners. They usually don't have to have great short area quicknesses. Look at Mike Hilton and his 40 time. He's not a fast dude, but that guy makes plays. I like playmakers. King is a playmaker. Sullivan's a playmaker. Isaac was as a playmaker in the preseason as well. I'm looking for these guys to make plays because the big thing in the NFL, you're not going to shut everybody down forever, but if you have more turnovers than the other team, that gives you the best chance of winning. Otherwise, look for the Steelers to be getting beat deep. Well, we have another great safety in Fitzpatrick back there as well to help out. He does get to plays. 40 times are not the most important things for a corner as well. To me, it's more positional and football intelligence. Football speed and 40 times are not the same thing. Okay, we got contrast between the Roberts going out a debate here on YouTube. Miles, 14 sacks should have been an all-pro year or a Pro Bowl. Highsmith didn't even make the top 100 players, which is crazy. They will respect him this year. That was insane to me, Miles, too. 14 sacks and led the league in forced fumbles. Didn't even sniff the Pro Bowl. They had some replacement players. They didn't even put him on. And he did that with a half season without TJ Watt. He was the guy. They were double teaming him. And he was still making plays. He carried our outside linebackers getting pressures. He was the only one getting pressures when TJ was down. Throwing Malik Reed on the other side doing freaking nothing. Absolutely nothing. Highsmith is going to make them respect him. Absolutely. I think he's going to have a great year. Robert, my prediction was a couple new faces brought in and the punter for at least one other guy taken off. Yeah. Well, you thought we were going to lose Presley Harvin III. We're still waiting on that one. You never liked Barry either back in the day, and I always told you they're not replacing Barry for a long time. Elite speed. Unless Peterson has that elite speed that he is. Peterson's an elite athlete in general. Yoder, this is Tomlin's team, and he will be the coach when the Steelers bring back to Pittsburgh the 7th Lombardi Trophy for the first franchise to win 7. I'm all for that, Yoder. I would love to see that happen. John Davis, do you see us creaming up on the 49ers? I definitely see us slamming the 49ers, John. I said at the top of the show, this is the week to put your money on the Steelers getting 2.5 at home against a team that might not be playing the defensive player of the year, that might not be playing George Kittle, and has their starting quarterback playing his first game against a team that has a great front seven coming off a reconstruct or UCL surgery, which is still significant. Absolutely significant. Robert, the pressure the Steelers outside linebacker should get the quarterback will help make the defensive backs look elite. And that is the big part, too. The front seven getting to the quarterback and blitzes makes the secondary's job easier. And we need that elite pass rush to step up to help out this process, I think, earlier in the season. We still have an elite, all-pro free safety back there, guys, that nobody's mentioning. And I love the other two. The other two safeties that we have on, Neal and KZ, are way better than Edmonds ever was, in my opinion. Edmonds was a tackler. That was all Edmonds did, was tackle. These guys play the ball in the air, can knock balls down, can intercept balls, can force fumbles. I don't know why Edmonds couldn't force fumbles. But these guys are playmakers, and that's what I like seeing. Carlos Daniel Cangales! Hey, welcome back to the show, my friend from Venezuela. Late to the show. Nice to see you back on the show, Striker. Great to see you. I hope everything is going blissfully in Venezuela. And Steel Mundo back on Striker's Inside Slant. Love seeing that. I want to see Pat P dominate. I don't want him to be a Witherspoon. Me too, Miles. I'm hoping for some great play as well out of Pat P this year. And he doesn't have to be the guy for us. We've got a great defense. Nick, Jaylen Warren putting work in this season. Yes, he is. And I do like him hitting hard, and I loved his long run. And Najee can receive any pass. He's a great receiver. That's the one thing that we didn't talk about. Najee's a better pass catcher than Warren. McFarland's a better pass catcher than Warren. McFarland actually has some roots downfield as well that he used to run in college. DC, P2P is going to be real big this season. Pickett to Pickens. That's the way, baby. Minuti, will they have some snaps on the rotation? Will Riley have some snaps? Yeah. I don't know how they're going to use Riley now that they picked up King. One of those guys to me has to be inactive. I don't know if they're going to make King inactive just because it's his first week. He's still early. He's learning the system. But eventually, one of those two guys are going to be inactive on game day. It's either going to be King or it's going to be Riley. So we'll have to see how that works out. Dominion, let's go Steelers. Welcome, Dominion. Minuti, Robert and Holcomb will start. Best choice, or Quan will be starter soon. I think it's going to come down to whether we're playing a pass-first team or a rush-first team. I think Quan's going to be the starter on a rush first team. And then Roberts and Holcomb will be on pass first teams. But rotationally within games, on running down, you're going to see a whole lot of Quan. Going to probably be Roberts and Quan on rushing downs. Dylan, TJ Watt should have been in the top 10 out of 100 players. Well, he is coming off an injury year, so he's going to get downgraded for that. Absolutely. Thank you, Javi, for the claps. David, is the Steelers the dark horse in the NFL, and playing in the playoffs, playing all the playoff teams from last year is a good upside test for the Steelers? Well, the problem with talking heads and predictors is predictors are only predicting from what happened the year before. It's how people do fantasy drafts. It's how people are surprised that teams come out of nowhere. Surprised how players come out of nowhere because they're going off of last year's stats. They're not going off of this year's stats. Steelers can't be any better. They almost missed the playoff. They missed the playoffs. You got Ravens. They've got an MVP on the team. You got Cincinnati. They got the best quarterback in the AFC. One of them. You got the Browns, who are always great on paper. Steelers. Oh, the sky is falling for the Steelers. I love that stuff. Absolutely love that stuff because it does not affect Tomlin one freaking bit. He doesn't care one bit about the power rankings in the NFL. And neither do I. Because power rankings are reactive, not proactive, just as well as all of these prognosticators. Because the Steelers are going to be a hell of a lot better, in my opinion, than they were last year, which means they're at least a 10-win team. I think they're an 11-win team on paper as we sit right now. So if we hit 12, 13, 14 wins, I'm not going to be surprised. A lot of people in this league would be surprised. But when we start beating teams like Cincinnati and Baltimore early on in the season, and we're rotating all three phases, people are going to start changing their tune on the Steelers really quick. Though I will give props to that the morning show with Kay Adams and all those guys that like to talk. They are up, and they are projecting the Steelers to be a team that's making the playoffs and to look out for this season with how well they're performing in the preseason. They're not just going off of last year to predict who they're going to be this year. Yep, you're right. 49ers best O player Kittle is out. The best D player Bosa probably going to be out as well. Steelers have no shot given Tomlin's poor in-game coaching and weak home opener record, likely losing 4 of the last 5. That's your opinion, not mine. That's why it's not who you play, it's when you play in Burrow. That's exactly the way. Gentry is signing with the Bengals. Yep, just jumped on their practice squad. Saw that earlier today. Thank you for letting all of Steeler Nation know about that as well. That's a great one. You're crazy if you think they won't play this week. Just like TJ last year, they won't play. Yeah, you'll have to see. He's got to sign a contract first. Bosa doesn't even have a contract signed. We got that contract done, and he helped us beat Cincy in Cincy. We need to remember that Moore consistently shuts down the media's poster child, Myles Garrett. Dan Moore gets better every single year and does really well against number 1 guys. But I would like to see Jones. Well, this is why Moore is still starting, guys. Tomlin was asked about that exact same thing, Miles, today in the press conference. And he stated Moore is starting because Moore has gotten better. Moore is better right now in year 3 than Broderick Jones coming off with year 0. He'd be dumb to start Broderick Jones and make mistakes against a guy like Bosa anyway. But if Bosa's not playing, either way, Moore's the guy you put in there. Because more is more and not less is more. But guys, we drafted depth. The entire roster, we drafted depth. None of them have to start this whole year. None of them. And it's still a successful draft, in my opinion. Because I think we have sick depth. I think we have guys that can be depth that can be starters for a long time on this team once we have players rotating out, like Adams next year. That's a spot that's going to come. Porter's probably going to start sooner than later. Poor Nick Herbig is in a spot where you got 2 big contracts ahead of you. He needs injuries to get in there. That's going to be a tough career to watch because you got these guys locked up for 4 years and he's on this team for 4 years. That's going to be a tough situation to watch and read. Miles, I want to see some angry runs from Najee and some people eating grass from his stiff arms. Me too. I want to see Debo's face print in the turf. I want Fred Warner's face imprinted in the turf. I want these guys to remember when they played the Steelers. It is great to see the inside linebackers hitting the holes hard on running plays. Yeah, we haven't seen it since Vince Williams got hurt. Since Vince Williams retired. He was the last guy hitting holes on the interior. Hell, freaking Edmonds wouldn't even come down in the box and hit holes. We at least knew Polamalu would hit holes from the strong safety spot. Flowers would hit holes. Logan would hit holes. We had a freaking strong safety for 5 years on this team that wouldn't hit holes. Drove me nuts. Drove me absolute nuts. Do you think we could see Shazier make a comeback in the Steelers organization as a coach or a scout? Probably not. I don't think he has designs to be a coach or scout. He's making great money as a public speaker. I wouldn't say never. I just don't see him being a big part of the Steelers, but I do see him being inducted into the Steelers Ring of Honor. He will be a Ring of Honor inductee. I will promise you that. I did hear Watson promise Brown fan a happy ending. Nice. Nice. Rob, I heard a guaranteed happy ending after every game. Yep, it was a great draft. Absolutely. Absolutely a great draft. It was a perfect draft because everybody fell to us around after we were predicting everybody to fall to us. Everybody wanted Joey Porter Jr. the first round. We got him in the second. Everybody wanted Washington in the second round. We got him in the fourth. Hell, even Burrows, you did pick Keanu Benton. That was the one guy you sent to me. I know you wouldn't send it to everybody else. Your other picks I didn't like at all, but I did. I told you I love that Keanu Benton pick when we talked about it in the private chats. Guy was a money pick, absolute money pick. And he was picked right around where we thought he was going to go. People went Nick Herbig as well. He ended up falling to us a bit, falling to us all the way back into the 4th. So this is everybody falling. And then we got 2 great picks in the 7th, and Trice and Anderson. 2 guys. 2 guys. I want Benton to cause chaos. Me too. Because that guy can get after the quarterback. Well, we will see Benton on passing downs. Absolutely will. People who still blames Tomlin are virgin. Now I want something on Portuguese. I'm jealous now. If only my Portuguese was as good as my Spanish, Minuti, I could at least tell you some beautiful things. Unfortunately, though, mi español es muy mejor de mi portugués. Mi portugués no nada nunca portugués. It is only Kenny Pickett at quarterback, and also who is at wide receiver 1? Well, the depth chart is out, B. Mooney. Our starting edge guys, same ones as last year. We got Pickens, we got DJ on the outside. DJ's playing the X, Pickens is playing the Z. And then our starting Y is Robinson. And a lot of you guys, if you didn't see Robinson play at Penn State back in the day, if you haven't watched, if you want to watch Mitchell Trubisky's highlights from the Chicago Bears, it is all Robinson catches, making sick grabs. The guy has insane catch radius. Always did. And he's going to make some insane plays for us to keep those sticks moving. And then the next guy, 4th guy up, Austin. Miles Austin. This is the best top 4 receivers we have ever had talent-wise. And I track receivers. This is the best top 4 talent wide receivers. And we're strong because if we ever go 4 wide receivers, we have 4 strong wide receiver candidates off there. And who's the 5th? So the 5th and 6th are essentially depth special teams guys. Miles Boykin is backing up on the Z, but that guy's going to be a special teamer. He's a gunner. He's going to get a hat. Gunner is not a gunner. Gunner's a returner, but he's not going to get a hat because right now our returners are healthy. Our other receivers ahead of him can play. So Gunner will not be active. I can put you can put money on that. Gunner will not be active on game day this week. I'll go down here to give you my 5 that'll be inactive. Obviously, Rudolph is inactive, but you can still utilize a 3rd quarterback now. Fortunately, they finally changed that rule to make it decent. Gunner's out. Gunner's going to be inactive. I will say Spencer Anderson will probably be inactive as well, which means Nate Herbig's going to get a hat. Probably Dylan Cook's going to get that other hat as well. All the tight ends will play because Connor Hayward is also the 3rd tight end and the fullback and a special teamer. He's going to play. McFarland, all 3 running backs will play because McFarland is our kick returner as well. All the receivers other than, so that's 3 on offense that aren't going to play. There's going to be 2 guys on defense that aren't going to play. Going to have to say, probably going to be Watts. Watts will be the 4th guy that won't be playing on game day. Next one is going to be between Elijah Riley and Desmond King. One of those guys will be the 5th inactive, and that is my take to the bank because Killebrew is a killer in our special teams captain. He will be active every game day just because of his special teams play. And it just comes down to whether or not Desmond King can push either James Pierre or Riley down a slot to be inactive so he gets some gameplay on game day. So fun thing to talk about there, guys. Sorry I got off on a tangent. Matt Canada last year. Yeah, but Divish, I'm going to give you a positive for Matt Canada last year. Matt Canada did what he could with that quarterback situation. We had a new quarterback on our team that hadn't played in a year in Trubisky, who started the season, and then had to force a quarterback that is a rookie to play. And between our stats, our quarterback stats for the first half of the year and the second half of the year, they improved dramatically. And you got to give Matt Canada some props for that because he relied more on the running game down the stretch to allow Kenny Pickett to develop, to not have to rely on his arm to make every play, because we relied on the ground game to make the plays, and it worked out much better for us in that respect. So I got to give some kudos, but we have to see him open up the offense. And if he's going to open up the offense the way he did it in Maryland, the way he did it in Pittsburgh for the Panthers, we're going to see some big plays down the field. Oh, who is wide receiver one? Wide receiver one is a designation that's not even really a thing. Sometimes talking heads use the designation for wide receiver one for, who's going to be the most athletic receiver on your team? Who is it? The most athletic, the one that's going to get the most catches, the one that's going to get the most yardage. Because those can be three different answers for three different wide receivers on your team. The most athletic wide receiver on the team might be Austin the third. The one that's going to get us the most yards, probably going to be George Pickens. One that's going to get the most catches, definitely going to be DJ. Why? Because DJ plays the X. He's the first guy open on the left. And doing your progressions left to right for a right-handed quarterback, he's throwing left. DJ gets open. DJ's the number one receiver in the respect that he's going to get the most catches. Some people will argue Pickens might be the number one receiver because he might end up with the most touchdowns. That's going to be an argument for fans to have. But a number one receiver really isn't a thing. CA3 is going to be wide receiver 3 by the end of the year. I don't know. I really don't know. I see them utilizing CA3 to come in on specific packages. I want Robinson on third down. I want Robinson in goal line. If they're going to do a wide receiver jet sweep, I want to see Austin running it. If they're going to try to do a mismatch with a linebacker on a slot receiver on an early down and they bring Austin on the field for that, Austin will burn that linebacker every Sunday. And that'll be fun to watch. It's going to be how the personnel is utilized both on offense and defense. Both of our coordinators have a lot of responsibility on who they're going to bring in, on which packages to exploit the other teams, because we have the talent up and down this roster to exploit other teams in different ways. Love Lamar's contract. Love quarterback and no passing game. Yeah, really. They locked Lamar down in Baltimore. I love it. You love it. We'll have to see how that goes. And where are we at? Have any news on Larry? He's not injured. He's going to play. Tomlin at least said he wasn't expecting anybody not to play this week. He didn't mention anybody on the injury list for his first press conference today. And so I am excited for the entire team being 100% healthy, coming out, only losing one real guy that I thought was a big loss, and that was Trice. But because Trice would have been that depth guy, Pierre would not be on this roster if Trice was healthy. Herbig should be able to flash his talent while giving Watt a breather. Definitely Cooley. I definitely agree with that. Pickens is going to be 49ers boogeyman. I can't wait. Though they have a great cornerback on that team as well and a good safety. Robert, going to be tough to cover both Pickens and DJ. Yeah, you throw in a Robinson or an Austin already with a Freiermuth or Mount Washington on that field with a Najee Harris or Washington or McFarland. This is a team that everybody can make plays coming off that bench. I'm so excited to watch this team. I really am. It's going to be a fun Sunday. Miles and Matt Canada to be able to be efficient like he was in the preseason, I wouldn't be against him getting some type of new contract. And that's what it's about. You got to be able to show that you can move and get better every year. And if he shows it, then Tomlin was right for keeping the same coordinator with the same quarterback to progress through their careers. This is something to watch. But that was the reason why Tomlin kept Canada last year, was because Kenny Pickett wanted Canada, and Tomlin did not want to split them up. Did not want to go against the progression of a young quarterback and allowed the young quarterback to keep his guy. Guys, getting toward the end of the show. Last comments here coming down. Will Warren take the starting spot over Najee, Jordan? Only if Najee gets hurt, in my opinion. Go Steelers. Thanks, Meyer. Janae, 1 Ratbirds, 2 Steelers, 3 Bungles, 4 Cleveland Clowns. That's probably your order for the North. I definitely think we're better than Baltimore. I think they've taken a big step back on defense. And Lamar, and I don't know how well they're going to do if they start losing games, because it's going to come down to the headspace for Lamar. If they're not winning games early in the season, he's going to take a lot of heat for that big contract. The locker room was already split before he re-signed that contract. Half that locker room moved on from him, and the other half was for it. So it's going to be interesting if he can bring that locker room back together. Garrett is the most overrated player in the league. Agreed. He's been the paper DPOY for years now. He's not even the best outside linebacker in the conference, or in the division, and he never will be. Hell, he might not be better than Highsmith. Hell, he might not be better than our third Nick Herbig. Manuti, we can do PH3 at tackle if we need it, right? He's a big boy. Dylan, what did you think about the revamped Ravens with OBJ and Zay Flowers? OBJ hasn't put up stats in years. Zay Flowers, I love. Absolutely I think this might be the first time they ever picked a great wide receiver. Not a good one, a great wide receiver. Because they got the Aguilar as well. And Aguilar he's a Ravens statistical receiver that he's never put up 1,000 yards, never had more than 6 touchdowns in a season, never had close to 100 catches. Aguilar is just a dude, and his numbers are going to go down, like way down, with Lamar Jackson as his quarterback. But can Flowers make plays for them? Yeah. OBJ, I'm still worried about his health. Can he put together a full season this late in his career? I don't know. I really don't know. That's the aspect. All the talent in the world at the end of his career. He's at the end of his career. Also, Mark Andrews, new offensive coordinator too. Lamar finally got pass catchers. Ravens are going to be hard to beat. You think that, but we sack Lamar a lot. Lamar likes to hold on to that ball a little longer than he's like a Ben Roethlisberger. He tries to hold on to that ball a little too long. But with our defense, they're still not going to be open. We robbed Texans with Green. Hey, getting anything for Green was awesome. Joe Burrow sucks. Ravens' problem wasn't receivers. Lamar isn't good. Yeah, Lamar has trouble looking downfield, in my opinion, especially when there's a lot of pressure on him. And that's why we sack him, because he tries to beat us with his legs. We get him moving around. We get 5 sacks a game, 6 sacks a game with that guy sometimes. And I freaking love it, because he is indecisive. If it's not open right away, he's not throwing the ball. He tries to move around a little bit. Bam, he gets hit. And hopefully that happens a lot more this year. Ja4, how will you feel on George Pickens being a top 10 wide receiver this year? I would love for him to be a top 10 wide receiver this year. Absolutely would love that. I think he has the ability to be a top 10 receiver in this league. And it seems like in his head, he wants to be a top 10 receiver. But then again, so did Claypool. Until Claypool decided maybe modeling is better way to make money. I'm still waiting on something in Portuguese. I'm jealous. I'll learn something for you. Next show, I'll learn something for you. David, the Bengals hard beat 2 times, but the Steelers can split with them and the Bengals. It just comes down to matchups, guys, and who's injured when you're playing them. I think we'd like to play the Bengals early. Are we playing them in September? I don't know. I'd like to play them in September with a Burrow with being a question mark and his health. Dylan, true, but you leave Tom Mannion is trying to change the offense into a dual threat. You're trying to, but when you have a running back as a quarterback that you just gave a huge contract to, we'll have to see how he is. I mean, he was all over the place. That MVP season he earned, but once people knew what he could do, they learned we taught the league how to shut him down, pressure him, force him to throw. We taught the league that. Has he been anywhere near since putting up those kind of numbers? No, but he's a winner. I will state that Lamar Jackson is a winner, and I do respect him in that game. He does whatever he can to try to win games because he wants to win. He hates to lose. He hates to lose more than he loves to win, and that's what makes real winners. And the defensive lineman from the Vikings, yeah, he's a decent dude, but he's old now. Bortles, Robinson too. Yep, Bengals suck. Go Steelers. We need King in there. King will get in there sooner than later too, Delta. I believe that. Gunner stayed. Nord's quote. Yeah. I'm surprised Gunner made the roster. But Matt had all in Pitt. Yeah. Had AT Pitt. But Matt had in at Pitt, I think. Brown from Cowboys is the guy going to take a spike touchdown? No, I don't know. We'll have to see. Matt, I think you meant Matt Canada. Can't wait for game day. Want to see Austin playing too. I'm single now, but DJ can create separation better than me. That's a great take there, Minuti. Always making me laugh, my friend. John, Sunday's going to be awesome. What we got down here? I missed a couple here. Yep, undefeated season. Robert C. is calling it. Great show, Striker. Thanks, Miles. Yeah, I'm at the end of the show. It's time for me to get off. OBJ doesn't even have an ACL. No, that was Hines Ward, the freak. The only player I've ever heard about that was born without ACLs. That's why he went in the third round. He did not have ACLs when he got an MRI on his knees. Absolute freak. It's like his medial and lateral ligaments grew around, so it was like a triangle as opposed to having four coming down like most people do. He had a triangle. PCL in the back, MCL, LCL, just ripping it in like a triangle, and he never had a knee injury. Not one that kept him out for games for a long time, at least. Burrow's health could be a big difference maker. It could be. Tell us what you really think of Miles. Still haven't mentioned Loudermilk. Oh, you guys. Inactive on game day. There. You have that. There you go. Claypool is such a disappointment after the first year. His heart stopped being in it, and the early success got to his head. It kind of did. Success came easy and early. Second year, he's like, I'm going to get 14 touchdowns. He ended up with 2. That was a big blow to his ego. Oh, this is a tougher game. Maybe I got to practice a little bit to get better. Hey, Striker just got here. Updates on San Francisco unsigned all-pro defender. Still without a contract. Hugh, still without a contract. Though our coach did say, went up to the 11th hour with TJ Watt. He ran on the field on Sunday on game day, and we were able to beat Cincinnati in Cincy. Unfortunately, we lost him for the next half of the season, but it happened. Hines Ward, Hall of Fame. Oh, indeed. That guy should be in the Hall of Fame. No questions asked. I think that's about it, guys. Thoughts on the Raven this year? Oh, yeah, I already gave you that. Nodge figured he could punish defenders only late in the year. Well, he was fully healthy late in the year. So that's how he could punish defenders a little bit more than he could in the beginning of the year with that plantar fascia injury that he was playing with a plate in his foot. Plate in his shoe, I'm sorry. Yo, do you think we will make the playoffs? Easily, Jeremy. You heard me at the top of the show. We got a good shot of winning this division. Do you think we'll make the playoffs? Yep. Why do you think the Steelers released Gentry? Because Mount Washington beat him out. And Mount Washington is not only a better blocker than Gentry, he's a better pass catcher and a bigger dude. So that pushed him off the roster. 1,400. Oh, KD joined. Okay, gotcha. What if we still don't win a playoff game this season? What if we still don't win a playoff game this season? Then it'll suck, but we're moving up because we haven't made the playoffs in a while. So at least next step is to make the playoffs. Step after that is to win a game in the playoffs. Step after that, win multiple games in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. Step after that to win the Super Bowl. Hopefully we can do all those steps this year. But if we can't, it is progressive and you build on it from year to year. I hate the 2 Thursday night football games. They are close and at least one is out. Yeah, I hate Thursday night football games that are not Thanksgiving. I can't stand them. Do you think the Steelers will destroy this season? Yes, I do. Jeremy, I've been talking about it all game. We are a 3-phase team, and a lot of people are sleeping on our special teams are just as good as our defense and what our offense is projecting to be. Jalen Warren is going to take Najee's spot. He's got to do it if he's injured. Have a good night, man. Boa night. See ya. Oh, boa notte. There's a phrase I can learn. Boa notte. Good. Thanks for joining the show, Minuti. I appreciate that. Thoughts on the Browns? Browns are always awesome on paper. I'm still trying to see if Deshaun Watson can get past his head that he's an asshole. Nobody likes him, and we're gonna come after him hard. Do we need to stop San Francisco's running game? Yes. Yeah. If we can't stop McCaffrey, we're in for a long freaking game. But I am fully confident in this team's front seven, the way our inside linebackers are now hitting, to be the team that can stop McCaffrey. Absolutely there, John. Thanks for the question. And last one, guys, we're down there. Yeah, I'm not doing videos. I'm about ready to jump off. Guys, it's time on the show. Time to end. Of course, Miles Stryker is Claypool just had music during practice. He would have gotten those 14 touchdowns, right? Yoder, great show tonight. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Thanks, Yoders. Thank guys, everybody. Be sure to mark it down. Tuesdays, 8:30 Eastern time. I'll be on the Instagram. I'll be on the YouTube. We're trying to get Facebook fixed back up again. I'll have that fixed by next week. Follow me on social media at SN Stryker. That stands for Steeler Nation Stryker. I'm on the Tickety Talks. I'm on the Twitters. I'm on the Instagrams. I'll start posting a little bit more now that we're starting to get into the season because this is the time. Get excited, Steeler Nation. That's all the time we have on Stryker's Inside Slant. I'm your host, Stryker. I'll see you on game day. You go down to game day. We got the terrible tailgate going on in lot 4A, caddy corner from PNC Park. First party you hit, caddy corner from PNC Park, is the terrible tailgate. All you can drink, all you can eat, giving away raffles, having special guests, all one low price. Usually it's right around $40. So get on over there. If you see me, say hi. Love to chat with you guys and meet you guys in real life as well. Talk some Steelers. Have a good time. And don't be afraid to talk to me, for God's sakes, because I got nothing else going on. Love you guys. Let's go, Steelers. And I will be rooting along with you as always for the first win week 1 in Pittsburgh in years. Go